Mississippi House of Representatives is now in session. Please let the House come to order. Please stand as we're led in prayer today by the gentleman from, a guest minister to be introduced by the gentleman from Prentice. Remain standing thereafter for the pledge.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We're honored today to have a great friend of mine with us today and his family. This gentleman pastors a church called Faith Harvest in the northeast corner of the state. I'd like to introduce to you Bishop Pastor Lee A. Miller Jr. and his lovely wife, the First Lady, Lynette Miller, and Isaac. They also have some family and friends with them today, Anthony, Melissa, and Demi. Would you welcome Pastor Lee Miller?
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you today for a blessed day you have given us. We ask you today, let your kingdom come, your will be done in earth as it is in heaven. And we ask for your divine grace upon this legislative body, God, that there be a unity in this house as they do business, and God, as they move forward for this great state, Mississippi. We thank you for all things that you have done for us in this nation. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Would you join me in the pledge? Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk.
There's a quorum present, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We'll have the reading of the journal. Gentleman from Rankin moves we dispense with the reading of the journal. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Report of select committees.
We have none, Mr. Speaker.
Report of standing committees.
We have reports on the calendar, Mr. Speaker.
Introductions of bills and constitutional amendments. Gentleman from Marion, Mr. Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent to dispense with the reading of the introduction.
Is there objection? Hearing none, we will do that. Resolutions, petitions, memorials, and other papers.
To the Mississippi House of Representatives, Governor's veto message for House Bill 980. I'm returning House Bill 980, an act to create a new section within Article 3, Chapter 29, Title 41, Mississippi Code of 1972, to provide an automatic defense to prosecution for any charge that is brought within 2 years of federal declassification of a controlled substance that is subject of the offense and for related purposes. House Bill 980 adopts a new section of the Mississippi Code to create an automatic defense and bar to criminal prosecution for any violation of Mississippi's controlled substances laws upon the federal government declassifying the substance that is subject to the criminal charge. Specifically, House Bill 980 provides in relevant parts, lines 22 through 29, if a charge is brought under Mississippi's Uniform Controlled Substances Law within 2 years from the date of declassification of a controlled substance, and that federally declassified controlled substance is subject to the offense, there shall be an automatic defense to prosecution. The defense shall be raised sua sponte by the court or any party to the proceeding and shall bar the prosecution of the charge. The state of Mississippi enjoys exclusive police powers to protect the health, welfare, and safety of its citizens. In furtherance of its police powers, Mississippi has adopted a uniform controlled substance law that that both regulates substances and provides criminal penalties for violations of such regulations. While Mississippi's 5 controlled substances schedules codified in Mississippi Code 41-29-113 through 121 largely mirror the federal schedules, such schedules are not coextensive. Most notably, earlier this session, the Mississippi Legislature passed, and I signed into law, Senate Bill 2095, creating a medical marijuana program that authorizes the use of medical marijuana and decriminalizes the cultivation, processing, and possession of medical marijuana, despite the fact that marijuana remains a controlled substance under federal law and is subject to criminal penalties. Additionally, this week, I signed into law House Bill 232 that makes numerous additions to Mississippi's 5 controlled substances schedules, including scheduling 20 fentanyl-related substances. Such actions were consistent with Mississippi's exclusive police powers. House Bill 980 imprudently abdicates to the federal government the police powers of the states to regulate substances and impose criminal penalties for violations of Mississippi's Controlled Substances Act. In some Democrat-controlled states, there is a disturbing trend towards deregulating and decriminalizing such hard street drugs as cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine. While thankfully this trend has not yet spread to Congress, I'm unwilling to gamble with the health, welfare, and safety of Mississippians. In the past 15 months, if the past 15 months have taught us anything, it is that we must jealously guard states' rights and powers and not cede any authority to the federal government. In some substances, it may be appropriate to amend Mississippi's controlled substances schedules to mirror changes in the federal schedules, while also amending Mississippi's criminal laws to account for such changes. In other instances, it may be appropriate for Mississippi to decline to declassify a controlled substance and instead exercise its police powers to regulate it and impose criminal penalties for violation of such regulations. In either case, the decision of what substances should be regulated and what criminal penalties should be imposed for violations of such regulations should be made by the Mississippi Legislature on a case-by-case basis, not the federal government. For these reasons, I'm vetoing House Bill 980. Respectfully submitted, Tate Reeves.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Recognize the chairman of rules. Would like to call a meeting.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to do a rules meeting right now. If you're on rules, meet me in the rules room.
All right, this time we'll have introductions of guests and visitors. Gentleman from Tallahatchie, Mr. Reynolds.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of myself and my immediate desk mates right here, of which there are many, we want to extend our welcome to a 36-year-old, not 36-year-old, but 36-year veteran, the former gentleman from Lee, Representative Holland. A little bit older than 36, but I guess still young at heart.
Gentleman from George, Mr. McLeod.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of myself and Representative Manley Barton, would the House help me make welcome in the North Gallery, excuse me, in the North Gallery, our leadership class from George County.
Gentleman from Ballard, Mr. Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I asked if everyone this morning would help me make welcome one of the longtime attorneys from the city of Cleveland in the South Gallery, Mr. Kurt Povall.
Gentleman from Scott, Mr. Miles.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a special introduction in the South Gallery, two of my youngest constituents, Mr. Perrin and Miss Cassidy Woods. Would you stand up, please?
Gentleman from Lee, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I'd like to introduce my friend for many, many years, Mr. Chris Sadler and his family. He is in the North Gallery. Let's give him a warm welcome today.
Any further introductions? I don't see any. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a special guest that we want to recognize today. I'm going to ask everyone to find their seats and to give us your attention. We have a special guest today. I would like to ask everyone to find their seats and give us your attention. I'm going to recognize the gentleman from DeSoto to introduce our special guest, and I want to ask the Sergeant at Arms to escort our special guest to the podium. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I recognize the gentleman from gentleman from DeSoto to recognize our special guest.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one of the lead guitar from Leonard Skinner with us today, Ricky. And Ricky did some all-day traveling 2 days in a row just to get here, and left this morning from Olive Branch, and some dense fog and everything else, but he finally made it safe and sound, him and his wife. But I'm going to turn it over to the mayor of Olive Branch, Mayor Adams, and let him talk about Mr. Ricky for a minute. And then we'll ask Madam Clerk to read the, the resolution. Thank you. Mayor Adams.
Thank you, Representative Hale. Good morning, Honorable House. It is my privilege, Ken Adams, as the mayor of Olive Branch, Mississippi, to introduce to you one of our guests of our Maywood community, Mr. Ricky Metlock, who has been strumming a guitar since 1969. He played for Leonard Skinner for many years. He'll tell you about that. He also played for Blackfoot. He is a Lakota Sioux. He was inducted in the Native American Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2008, and it's certainly an honor and privilege for me to introduce him to you today. Mr. Ricky Metlock.
Wow. Well, I can't tell you what a pleasure this is, and after driving up from Florida for 2 days and then turning around at 6:30 this morning and driving again, this has made it very, very, very well worth it. It really has. I can't thank the representatives, Ken Adams, the mayor, Mr. Mahale, Speaker of the House, and all of you people out there. Thank you so much for this honor. Where Mississippi starts with me is my grandfather, Shorty Medlock, who, as a kid, was a sharecropper in Georgia, and he learned to play the Delta blues by listening to different people that was on the farm sharecropping with him and his family, and across the street was this other family of sharecroppers. And what they would do on Sundays, they would get together at each other's home and they would have dinner together and they would play music together. And it was always the Delta blues and country kind of stuff. I grew up with my grandparents, and this was in Jacksonville, Florida. I listened to a lot of Delta blues, Robert Johnson, Huddy Ledbetter, Mississippi John Hurt, all the great blues players I listened to as a young kid. Learned how to play banjo at the age of 3 years old, if you can believe it. I got pictures of it. I was on a TV show with my grandfather from the age of 3 till I was 8. Learned how to play guitar when I was 5, learned how to play drums when I was 8. Took up playing all these instruments, and always knew that this was what I wanted to do. I wanted to play music. I didn't know at what capacity it was going to lead me to. So I was in the group Blackfoot. I formed that along with a partner of mine, Jackson. And then I went to Leonard Skinnard. And I went to Leonard Skinnard for about 2, going on 3 years. And stayed with Skinnard until I knew it was time for me to move on at that point. I went back with Blackfoot, had success with them. Skinnard went on to have the success that they did. And I rejoined Leonard Skinnard at the end of 95. So I've been back with Skinnard 26 or so years now. The guy in the picture with me, Gary Rossington, one of the original guys, he was a member of the fatal crash that happened in Macomb, Mississippi. Gary was one of the surviving members. I was supposed to be on the plane, but I missed it. And so fortunately, by the blessings of the great one upstairs, I'm standing here today in the Mississippi Capitol talking to you people. I can't tell you what music has meant to me, especially the blues. They have a great saying that the blues had a baby and they called it rock and roll. And I'm here to testify that's true. And I've spent my whole life doing this, and I've loved every minute of it. Of course, there's been the ups and downs, as everybody will tell you, and so forth and so on. I met my better half, Stacy, when both bands, Kid Rock band that she's a member of, and Leonard Skinnard, we toured together. And we met in 2008. I was inducted that year, of course, in the Native American Music Hall of Fame. Stacy and I have been together ever since. And of course, here she is today. She's somewhere in here. She's shy. And there she is hiding in the corner over there taking pictures. But you know what? She's from Memphis, Tennessee. She has relatives in Mississippi right over in Olive Branch. And both of us live in Olive Branch. We got a little hideaway there. And I just can't tell you how much I love being in Mississippi. Mississippi, when we were driving today, I said, baby, I said, just feel the South. I'm a proud Southerner. My biological father was a Lakota Sioux Indian. My mother's half Indian and English and Scottish. But you know what? I was born and raised in the South. I'm Southern born, Southern bred. And when I die, by God, I'll be Southern dead. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate the honor. Thank you, Mississippi.
We're going to suspend business for a minute, take a few pictures. Please let the House come back to order. Jim Alcorn, Mr. Bain, what purpose you seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I need to ask that the governor's veto message be referred to Judiciary B.
All right. Vote on that. We'll move now to the calendar. It appears we start on page 7, concurrence, non-concurrence calendar. Any chairman have an item on this calendar they wish to take up? Gentleman from Alcorn, Mr. Bain. He passes. Gentleman from Grenada, Mr. Horan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to invite conference on item 17, House Bill 936.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Lady from Amite, Ms. Cockerham.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item 21, House Bill 1351, and I move to invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Any other chairman have an item? All right, I don't see any further item on the concurrence calendar at this time. Rules has reported out. I'm going to recognize Madam Clerk to read the report of the Committee on Rules.
Report of Committee on Rules, HCR number 78, Mississippi Farm Bureau Federation, commend upon 100th anniversary of, time sufficient to be adopted. HR number 80, Shake Rack, commemorate the legacy of the community, title sufficient to be adopted. HR number 81, Benton High School class of 1972, recognized upon occasion of their 50th class reunion, time sufficient to be adopted. HR number 82, Lucy May Harris Stewart, honor life and legacy as the first and only woman ever officially drafted by the NBA, and express sympathy upon her passing. Time sufficient to be adopted.
All right. Brings us to the rules calendar. Where's the chairman? Okay. We will move on. Local and private. Local and private wish to do anything?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 1, call up House Bill 1743. Make the usual motion.
Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended, bill considered engrossed, read the third time, placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 1743 would allow the city of Kosciuszko to levy a 2% tax upon the gross proceeds of restaurants for the purpose of tourism, parks, and recreation. This is a new tax. It's 2%, like I said, beverage, food and beverage, so it requires a vote, requires 60% to pass, and it has a 4-year repealer, and that's an explanation of the bill. Move final passage.
Any questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on House Bill 1743. You favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 104 yeas and 7 nays, the bill passes.
I'd like to go to item number 2, call up House Bill 1744, make the usual motion.
Hang on, gentlemen. Gentleman from Adams, what purpose you seek recognition? He passes. All right, gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended, bill considered and gross read the third time, placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 1744 would authorize the Board of Supervisors in Rankin County to contribute an amount not to exceed $50,000 to a nonprofit organization that provides recreational and sports opportunities in the county, and it has a 4-year repealer. That's an explanation of the bill.
Questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on House Bill 1744. You favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 110 yeas, 5 nays, bill passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 3, call up House Bill 1745, make the usual motion.
Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended. Bill considered and gross read the third time, placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 1745 would allow the Board of Supervisors in George County to make some repairs to the parking lot at the Crossroads United Methodist Church. This was an area that was a staging area for state and county equipment when they had a portion of Highway 26 blew out and actually a number of people died. They used that area, staging area. There was some damage to the parking lot. The county would like to do that, and what the repair here is authorized under this section does not provide any benefit to the church other than just making them whole. They're going to repair the damage that was done, and that'll be it, and that's an explanation of the bill.
Question? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on House Bill 1745. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 119 yeas, 0 nays, the bill passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 4, House Bill 1747. Make the usual motion.
Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended. Bill considered and gross read the third time, placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 1747 would allow the city of Clinton to levy a 2% tax on restaurants, food and beverage. It is provide funds for tourism, parks and recreation, and it has a 4-year repealer. And it's a new tax, so it requires a vote, 60%. That's an explanation.
Question? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on House Bill 1747. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote 109 yeas, 7 nays, bill passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 1748 is for the town of Sugar Lock. This would allow them to expand their water distribution system outside the city limits. We had a very similar bill yesterday that had to do with this same type of thing. They can go outside with some permission from the Public Service Commission about 5 miles. This is beyond the 5-mile limit. This would allow them to go 15 miles outside the corporate limits. They still have to go to the Public Service Commission. They still have to go through the public hearing process, and they still have to get a certificate of public convenience and necessity. That's an explanation of the bill.
Okay, before we vote, we need to call it up. Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended. Bill considered and gross read the third time, placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. He has completed his explanation. Are there any questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on House Bill 1748. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. I vote 114 yeas and 4 nays. The bill passes. Next item.
back on Monticello until I have a chance to talk to you about it. Is that a problem?
Okay, no, it's no problem.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, I want to skip item number 6. I also want to skip item number 7. I'd like to go to item number 8. Call up Senate Bill 2981.
Chairman calls the bill up, moves that the rules be suspended. Bill considered and gross read the third time, placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senate Bill 2981 would allow Bolivar County to make some contributions locally to the Bolivar County Community Action Agency and the Fannie Lou Hammer Cancer Foundation. This is a one-year request, so it will repeal after this year. And that's an explanation of the bill.
Questions on the bill? I'm sorry, it's a strike call. If you favor the strike call, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Questions on the bill? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on Senate Bill 2981. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. I vote 109 yeas and 8 nays. The bill passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 9. Call up Senate Bill 2997. Make the usual motion.
Chairman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended. Bill considered and gross read the third time, placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to recommit this bill.
Motion is to recommit. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Bill is recommitted. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 10. Call up House Bill 1742. Make the usual motion.
Chairman calls the bill up, moves that the rules be suspended. Bill considered and gross read the third time, placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. You got a committee sub. You want it?
Yes.
Gentleman moves committee substitute be adopted for consideration of the original bill. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The committee sub is just fairly simple explanation. We have 2 bills that come from Hattiesburg every 4 years that they've got repealers in them. They're similar in nature, and there's been some confusion in the past about the bills, and we've almost missed them a couple of times. And so we put a 5-year repealer in this bill as opposed to a 4-year repealer to try to get them to where they don't both bills won't repeal the same year. So we'll get out of the having them both come up every 4 years. So after this time, they'll start repealing in odd years, so both bills won't be coming up in the same year, and there won't be any confusion. But this particular bill, all we're doing here is extending the repealer. This is the enabling legislation for the Hattiesburg Tourism Commission, and all we're doing is extending the repealer 5 years instead of 4 on that commission, and that's it. That's an explanation of the bill.
Question. Gentleman Choctaw, Mr. Hood.
Does Gentleman Newell?
Certainly.
Is the entire Hattiesburg delegation, along with the mayor, on board with this legislation?
As far as I know, they are.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, I don't see any further questions. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on House Bill 1742. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. I vote 107 yeas and 8 nays. The bill passes.
Move. We yield.
Local and private yields the floor. Okay, we will go back to the concurrence, non-concurrence calendar. I'm aware of a few items that need to be taken up there. Recognize Chairman of Appropriation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, let's go to concurrence and non-concurrence, page 9. Look at item 23 would be House Bill 1550. This is the deficit. I would like to vote to concur. This is the deficit bill we passed earlier for the Department of Public Safety building. Plus there's $9.8 million for Office Against Interpersonal Violence. Due to federal dollars lost, the Senate put that in there. So I'd like to concur with this.
Motion is to concur. Any question? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 109 yeas, 5 nays. Motion passes. Next item.
At this time, I'd like to recognize Vice Chairman Jones from Montgomery to explain the rest of the appropriation,
Gentleman from
non-concurrence,
Montgomery.
concurrence bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, the next several bills that we take up, we could actually do this with unanimous consent in a block. We're inviting conference, but while I go through these individually, if that's the pleasure of the House.
Excuse me, gentlemen, you want to invite conference on all these items?
That's correct.
Can you identify which items you're talking about?
Absolutely. Item number 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, and 37.
Anyone wish to have one of these items set aside, 29 through 37? Motion is going to be to invite conference on all those items. Anyone wish to have one set aside? Any objection to taking them up in a block? All right, I don't hear any or see any. Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, move to item 38.
All right.
And move to concur. These are special fund agencies. We have worked with the Senate on these, and we have agreed on these budgets.
Questions on the motion to concur? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. I vote 113 yeas and 5 nays. Motion passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Item 39, House Bill 1583, and we move to concur. This is the appropriations for the Barber Examining Board, and the Senate and the House have reached an agreement. That's an explanation.
Any questions? All right, don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the motion to concur, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 115 yeas and 5 nays, the bill passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Item 40, House Bill 1584. Call it up. This is the conference report on the Cosmetology Board, and a move to concur.
Any questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the motion to concur, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 111 yeas, 5 nays, motion passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Item 41, House Bill 1585. Move to concur.
Any questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the motion to concur, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. I vote 111 yeas, 5 nays, motion passes. Next item.
Mr. Speaker, item 42, House Bill 1586. Move to invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Next item.
Mr. Speaker, item 43, House Bill 1587. Move to invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion passes. Next item.
Item 44, Mr. Speaker, House Bill 1588. This is the appropriations for the nursing home administrators, and we move to concur.
Any question? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. I vote 115 yeas and 4 nays. The motion passes. Next item.
Item 45, House Bill 1589, invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Next item.
Item 46, House Bill 1590, move to concur.
Motion is to concur. Any questions? Gentleman from DeSoto, Mr. Hopkins.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentlemen, are there any salary increases for the board in this one?
Not for the board, no, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Don't see any further questions. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close machine, Madam Clerk. About 118 yeas and 2 nays. The bill passes.
Move to item
Excuse me,
40.
gentlemen, we need to suspend business just a second.
Hey.
Okay, we'll return now to the calendar. Lady from Pearl River, what purpose you seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Introduction out of order.
Yes, ma'am.
Ladies and gentlemen, the South Gallery, we have one of my constituents, Miss Julie Fortenberry, and her students from Flames of Truth Ministry Homeschool. Please make them welcome.
Okay, I recognize the gentleman from Montgomery.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to item 47, House Bill 1591, and move to concur.
Motion is to concur. Any question? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. We have 117 yeas and 2 nays. Motion passes. Next item.
Item 48, House Bill 1592. This is the appropriation for Engineer and Land Survey Board. Move to concur.
Motion is to concur. Any question? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 114 yeas and 5 nays, motion passes. Next item.
Mr. Speaker, item 49, House Bill 1593. Move to invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Next item.
Item 50, House Bill 1594, move to invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Next item.
Item 51, House Bill 1595, move to invite conference.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Could we take up all the invite conferences in the block, gentlemen?
Once I move through the next 8, we can.
Sir?
Once I move through the next 8 bills, we can start moving.
Tell you what, why don't you identify all those you want to concur in, and then we'll take every one of the rest of them up in a conference. How about that?
Absolutely. We're going to invite conference on, we're going to move to concur on item 52, House Bill 1596. We'll concur on item 56.
Hold on, gentlemen, let's take them one at a time on the concurrence.
Sure.
Motion is to concur on item 52. Any question? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 113 yeas and 5 nays, motion passes. Which is your next concurrence item, gentlemen?
Item 56, House Bill 1620.
Motion is to concur on 1620. Any question? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close machine, Madam Clerk. I vote 117 yeas, 3 nays, motion passes. Next item.
Item 58, House Bill 1622.
Motion is to concur. Any questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs House Bill 1622. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. I vote 115 yeas and 4 nays. Motion passes. Next item.
Item 85, House Bill 1615, Mr. Speaker. Move to
Item
concur.
85, motion is to concur on item 1615, item 85, House Bill 1615. Any questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 111 yeas, 7 nays. Motion passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to item 88, House Bill 1618, and move to concur.
Motion is to concur. Any questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on House Bill 1618. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 114 yeas, 5 nays, motion passes. Next item.
Mr. Speaker, at this time, we'll move to item 49. These will be bills that we invite conference on.
Item, which one, sir?
Beginning with item 49.
Well, we've already done 49 through 51, invite conference.
I'm sorry. Item 50.
We did 49, 50, and 51, gentlemen.
Be 53. Begin at item 53.
According to my record, gentlemen, you begin on item 53.
That's correct.
And you want to invite conference on everything that's left on the calendar.
That is correct, Mr. Speaker.
Except
Item
the ones we
53
just concurred in.
That's correct.
That's item 53 to 90. Motion is to invite conference on items 53 to 90, minus the ones we just concurred in.
That is correct. 89. It's 89, isn't it?
Excuse me, Madam Clerk pointed out that number 90 is actually Ways and Means, so we don't have that one. So it's 53 through 89, ladies and gentlemen. We're inviting conference on all those bills. All in favor say aye. Opposed nay. Ayes have it. Thank you, gentlemen.
Appropriation yield.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You have to bear with me. We're going to jump around a little bit. We're going to do the concurrences first. If you would go to item 8, House Bill 256, move to concur.
Give us just a minute, gentlemen. Madam Clerk's got to get caught up. All right, Madam Clerk is now ready. We are on item 8 on the concurrence, non-concurrence calendar, House Bill 256. Motion is to concur. Any question? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk.
Okay.
Motion is to concur, House Bill 256. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By 112 yeas, 5 nays. Motion passes. Next item.
Jump over to item 20, House Bill 1164, and we move to concur.
Any questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 114 yeas and 4 nays, the motion passes. Next item.
Mr. Speaker, there are many that we would like to invite conference on. I'm going to try to take these up in a block if we can.
Any objection? Once you identify the items, gentlemen, we'll see if anyone wants to set them aside. Tell us which items you would like to take up in a block for the purposes of inviting conference.
Item 2, item 5, item 7, item 9, 10, 11, 13, 15, 16, 18, 19, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and item 90, the last item, item 90.
You need to do anything? All right, motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
There is one other item, Mr. Speaker, that I failed to concur on. It's item 12, House Bill 684. The motion is to concur.
Questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the motion to concur, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. About 114 yeas and 4 nays, motion passes.
That's all. Thank you.
Ways and Means yields the floor. Any other item on the concurrence, non-concurrence calendar at this time? I don't see any. We'll return to the rules calendar. Rules had met and passed out a few items.
We'll take that report up first. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If we could bring up HC 78, and it was just passed out this morning.
Okay. You're recognized.
Madam Clerk, if you would read the report.
She already did that, gentlemen.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mississippi's Farm Bureau Federation's come in for their 100th anniversary. That's what this does. That's my explanation.
Question. I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the resolutions, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. I vote 118 yeas and 1 nay. Bill passes. Excuse me, resolution passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If we could go to the calendar, and if we could, if there's no objection, take up number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, 6, 7, all the way down to number 16 in a block.
Anyone object to taking up all these items in a block? Anyone wish to have one set aside? I just called. Okay. I'll give you a second to look. Okay, I don't see any. Questions on the resolutions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor these resolutions, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. I vote 119 yeas, 0 nays. Resolutions are adopted. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If we could go to from number 17, 18, 19, skipping number 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26, and take those up in a block.
Any questions on the resolutions? I don't see any. If you favor the resolutions, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Next item.
If we could go back to number 20, HR number 73, this is the East Union Attendance Center Lady Urchin Powerlifting Team. Take that one up, and that's the explanation of the bill, the resolution, rather.
Questions? I don't see any. If you favor the resolution, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay.
Come here.
It passes.
It was a House concurrent. Mr. Guthrie, over here, Rob.
Next item.
If we could go to number 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. These are all SCRs, and take those up in a block.
Anyone wish to have one of these set aside? I don't see any. Any questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor these resolutions, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. I vote 120 yeas, 0 nays. Resolutions are adopted.
Mr. Speaker, if we could go back to number 13 on the calendar, HCR number 73, and pull that one up.
Pull it, what do you mean, pull it up, sir?
Well, to vote on it again, I'm sorry.
You want to reconsider the vote by which it passed?
Yes, sir.
Motion is to reconsider the vote by which HCR 73 passed. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Resolution is back before the House.
Ladies and gentlemen, HCR number 73 is John Guthrie, commend life and legacy upon his passing. I meant to take that one out earlier so that there would be a singular vote on that. That's my explanation.
Okay, gentlemen, Madam Clerk's got to go back into the system, pull out the resolution, pull it, redo the block vote, pull it out separately, and then vote on it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we request that if you wish to have one set aside, we give you time to do it. You need to have them set aside. Then, this requires additional computer work on Madam Clerk.
I apologize, Mr. Speaker. That was my fault.
This is a block vote. Does anyone wish to have one set aside? And I'll wait a good 30 seconds.
He didn't tell me earlier, he just told me the wrong number.
What?
He told me the wrong number. He had said it earlier.
Okay.
So it's my fault.
Ready? All right, Madam Clerk is ready. Any questions on this resolution? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the resolution, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. I vote 116 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution passes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your patience.
You want an immediate release on any of this?
Immediate release.
Any objection? Hearing none, we'll do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, according to my calculations, we have completed work on the calendar. Have I missed anything? Is there anything on the concurrence, non-concurrence calendar? Any chairman who wishes to take up? Rules has finished their work. Local and private has finished their work. All right. I don't see anything. Announcements, Mr. Clerk. Announcements, Madam Clerk.
Local and private will meet 5 minutes after adjournment in room 103.
Announcements by the members. Lady from Hines, Ms. Clark.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, I come to ask to adjourn in memory of a longtime friend of Mississippi, Reverend Emmett C. Burns, Jr. He was a graduate of Jackson State University. He worked here in Mississippi for years. He served in the legislature in Baltimore for 4 terms. He lost his life, as I understand it, last evening. I'd like us to ask you, if no objection, I'd like all us to be on that adjourned in memory.
Thank you, ma'am. Jim T. Shamingo, Mr. Carpenter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Everyone's invited to room 113. Lunch will be provided, the last first responder caucus of the year, so everyone's invited. Thank you.
Any further announcements? I don't see any. Gentleman from Hines, Mr. Brown, he has one.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to seek unanimous consent to change my vote, please. House vote 1550 from yes to no, and the same for my desk mate.
Any
Mr. Banks.
objection? Any objection? Change the vote. The gentleman from Alcorn needs to call a committee meeting. I'm going to recognize him.
Wait, we got a problem?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll call a Judd B meeting immediately upon adjournment.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any other announcements? Gentleman from Tibby Hall is recognized for the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move this House stand adjourned until 9 a.m. in the morning.
Before we put the motion, okay. Gentlemen, why don't we do, leaving the journal open, why don't you move that the journal remain open till the last conference report is filed, at which time the House stands adjourned at 9 a.m. in the morning. How about that?
So moved.
You like that substitute
Yes,
motion?
sir. I love that one.
Let's do that one. All right, you've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. House adjourned at 9 a.m. tomorrow.